Okay, today I'm working on an E46. It's my 330i ZHP, and today we're going to be doing a brake job. So we're just swapping the pads out. This is going to be for the rear tire. The very first thing we're going to do is we have to jack it up. If you haven't done that before, let me show you the point. Underneath here, you can see there's a little pad right here. There, now you can see it's sort of like a bump. Boink. That's what I'm going to jack on right there. So we're just going to slide the jack under that, and then we'll raise it up. The rim, but with the wheel off, now we get to do the real thing, which is to swap out the brake pads. The first thing we're going to do is remove the spring. Then there's two bolts on the back. We will take those off so we can pull out the caliper. We'll compress the caliper a little bit by putting a screwdriver within the blades of the brake disc itself, and then we should be able to pull them out and put in the new brakes. So first step is going to be removing the spring. Okay, now with the rim off, here is the brake caliper. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull off this spring. These 2 points have hooks. They sort of like hook inside these holes right here. Hook there. To remove the spring, we have to push it that way, and we can pull it out. So we push it. So I'm going to pry a little bit using a screwdriver in between the drum and this. So I'm going to pry it like that. See how it sort of pulls it so you can start to see the hooks in there? And then we're going to pry it off this way to get it done. That's what we're going to do next. First, this top one seems easy, so I'm actually going to, first I'm going to pry a little bit here. There, see, that's come out. Nice. And now I'm going to pry from the top. And there you go. Careful that doesn't hit you. Okay, but the spring is off. Okay, here's the spring. This is the way it was on there. You can see the hooks that were in the holes, and then these guys are just the spring supplying pressure. Okay, now everybody has a favorite way of how they like to compress the piston. Let me show you the back here. That is the brake wear sensor coming in on the side of the pad, and you can tell there's almost no brake pad left on this particular one, so it's great that we're changing it. But here you can also see the vents right there of the brake rotor. I'm going to stick my screwdriver in the brake rotor vents, not on the surface, and then I'm going to pry the caliper here. I'm going to pry it this way, and that'll compress the piston. I like it because no bleeding the brakes if you do it this way. Okay, I'm pulling it, and I can feel the piston compressing nice and slow. Okay, I pressed it so much that you can see the brake pads loose. That's good, this will be easy to remove. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but the piston now is almost all compressed in there. Here's the slots I was prying in on the rotor against this side of the caliper. Okay, now there's right there, right here, and right there are the next things. We're going to take the caps out. Sorry, I have the better lighting. Alright, there's a cap right here. I'm going to use a little screwdriver to get that one off. And a cap down here. Now those will be access to the bolts we'll need for taking off the caliper. right here. So I'll take this one off. Okay, next I'm going to use a Torx 45 bit on the top bolt. That's loosened. Now the Torx on the lower bolt. Okay, now we'll loosen them all the way up and take them out. Okay, here's one. And when we put these back together, we'll grease these so they slide easy. There's the now we're going after the top one. Okay, there's that one. So those two are out. Now with those two out, you should be able to remove the whole caliper. Okay. So this one. Okay. Now this one doesn't have as much slack as you might have in others because the brake sensor is still attached. But here's the side there. You see? There you go. There's the brake pad. This one's just held on by a spring, so they pop in and out. So you pop it out. Oh, it's because the brake sensor's still in there. Hang on. I'm gonna have to fiddle. I'm gonna undo the top here. That. Okay. Okay, so here is the brake pad, and that right there is the brake sensor. To remove the brake sensor, taking a little screwdriver, I'm putting it underneath right here, and then I'm prying it upward. There we go. There's the brake sensor. Brake pad wear sensor. And I'm going to set this on something because I don't like having the brake caliper just hang on the brake line. I think that's a bad idea. There. Stay. 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 Okay, so this is what the brake pad with the brake sensor pocket in it looks like. I don't know if my new pads actually have that. This one, here's the other pad that was worn. This is the spring on the back. The spring just, you press it into the socket of the caliper. Let's check the new ones. See what we got. Okay. Oh yeah, they got a spot for the sensor. So we're gonna take, I wonder if we'll need that little spring thing in there too. So I'm gonna take the spring piece out of the OEM. Take the spring piece, I'm going to put it in the new pads. Okay, so this is what we look like right now. Got the sensor right here, caliper right here, press the piston all the way back into it, and the two old brake pads are right there. New pad is here. This is just going to push into that. I am going to take a break here and I'm just going to scrub off with a wire brush some of the components just to clean it up before I put it back together. Put it in. There you go. That one's socked right in there. There. Finally enough. There. Okay, it's on. Okay, now that's on. I'm going to take the sensor. Right there. Not a lot of space. Right there is where we're going to slide the wear sensor in there. That way, the pads wear out, it rubs against that. It'll give us an indicator. Light. Okay, and the last steps are we're going to put some grease on the pins, those two pins, and then we'll just put them right back in the socket and tighten them all up. Now before you take off and start heading down the road though, make sure you pump your pedal a couple times, because you'll have some space you'll need to close up on the pads. The very first time you press them is not the time you want to be at a stop sign. Okay, I put grease on the pins. Next, I'm going to tighten both of them up. So keep track of that. Okay. That's on. Last is going to be the spring. I'm going to do that from the other side. Okay. Put into the bottom. Need to get that spread over. There we go. Okay, for putting the spring on, I put the bottom section on. We'll put this thing in second, and then this one was actually last. I just worked that top one over. Okay, that's it. So now I'm going to put on the wheel, and then after I put on the wheel, I'm going to step on the brakes to spread the pads out before I move it anywhere. Okay.